In today's episode, we'll look at the second combat encounter of Paizo's Rusthenge adventure. This is your spoiler warning. This combat took about 25 minutes during the session and has been edited down for a faster review. The party is progressing along a oceanside path after navigating a collapsed bridge, used to introduce skill challenges to newer players. At the bridge, they discovered evidence of a crossbow shooter, which matches the injury to the stranger that sparked this adventure. Most of the party has been scouting or searching as their exploration mode activities at this point, and the adventure calls out both, allowing for the pre-combat detection. Two characters are oblivious. One notices a well-sheltered ledge overlooking the path. Vanneral stops the group, points out the problem. Daegron pulls out an axe. I explained that part of the map here is greater difficult terrain, but not requiring a climb check, just very slow to move. The party continues past, noticing a glint of a crossbow bolt sticking out of the bush on the ledge. I let the fighter here throw a hatchet before initiative. Normally, I would not allow this. It is definitely not raw. Instead, the intent to throw would trigger initiative. But this was a new combination of players to me, and I'm wanting to encourage a bit more narration over mechanics, so I'm experimenting a bit outside my usual comfort zone of the rules. I think this is one I would not do in the future. For the GMs out there or people picturing this, we have an encounter with one humanoid and two animals, and one of the centipedes got the highest initiative. The first centipede starts off its turn. It climbs down the ledge. It does have a climb speed. I'm allowing that to bypass some of the penalties of the greater difficult terrain. So it does get down quickly. It moves into the flat land, which does leave a threatened square, which would provoke from Daegron. And Daegron does hit it here. The centipede then tries to bite Daegron twice, missing both times. Daegron is up next and tries using Intimidating Glare against the humanoid on the ledge. Great use of a first action, but it was unsuccessful. He then tries a Snagging Strike, hits, which will make the centipede off guard as long as it's within Daegron's reach. And Daegron tries a follow-up strike and misses. Veneral, our ranger, comes up next, steps up to be adjacent, hunts prey, and does twin takedown, one hit, one miss, and destroys the creature. Libiel, our witch, decides to try the sleep spell. Up on the ledge, it's going to hit 4 squares. It's a 5-foot burst, so it's centered on one of the vertices and hits the four surrounding squares. Got lucky in that it happened to overlap both creatures, one that was known, one that wasn't. However, remember, Sleep Level 1 is not a great in-combat spell. It is much better as an out-of-combat infiltration or storytelling spell. In combat, it's a light dozing on your feet. You do not drop what you're holding, you do not fall prone, and you get a fairly easy check to wake up at the beginning of your turn. Desi does a recall knowledge on the creature, learns that it is a Darrow, a type of Darkland Fae, with pronounced sunlight sensitivity. I also give the one question, wants to know about special abilities, learns about a lot of poison-themed abilities, and kind of getting extra use out of poison. Desi then class Bless. Bless is a great spell. It's a +1 status bonus to yourself and allies within the area. The remastered version especially has a very good initial radius, and the sustain is more generous. Note it has both a duration, 1 minute, regardless of your sustain, and a benefit on sustain. And a second reminder, Concentrate simply interacts with other abilities in this game. It is not a restriction on how many concentrates you can take in a turn. The Darrow fails its perception check. I was being a little generous here. I set the DC to 10. I think 5 is probably more common for the sounds of battle, so it probably would have woken up. But again, it's a new group. I'm wanting things to go well. I'm wanting people to have a good time. I didn't want the sleep to be completely wasted. So I was being generous with setting it to 10, and it rolled poorly. Centipede number 2 shook off the sleep, so it woke up fine on its own. And then it strode down the hill, same as before with this climb speed, and did 2 strikes, missing on both. Beginning of round 2, Daegron opened up with an intimidating glare. He also role-played some bellow and shouting onto that, which I think makes sense when trying to scare off an animal that doesn't share a language with you. Intimidating glare already removes the penalty for not sharing a language, so the bellow wasn't needed, but it was good roleplay, and it hurts the party in that it makes it easier for the creature to wake up on the ledge. Dagon followed that up with a snagging strike on both second and third actions and missed with both. Vanneral hunted prey, stepped up, and did a twin takedown with both ones hitting, getting the kill. Libiel tried a telekinetic hand. This is a cantrip that's usually, used out of combat to, move unattended items around. This is the classic steal the keys off of something or, move some cups around on a table. I said there was a tarp spread over the bushes here to help provide shade for this creature, and so pulling that off seems like a reasonable use of this spell. I did ask for a roll rather than making it automatic, because it was slightly secured and you're not really able to see what you're doing great. However, she was successful. I did roll this is going to wake the creature up. Sunlight's hostile to it, it's going to be burning, it's not happy. So it's woken up. It still lost one turn, so I think sleep was useful to it. Libiel then strode over to get behind the rest of the party, get some cover from them. Desi strode, sustained the bless to increase its area, and then attempted a non-lethal strike. Non-lethal strikes normally take a -2 penalty. We get into round 3. Dagon needs to triple stride to get over the difficult terrain. Vanneral did the same thing. Libiel tried a live wire spell. We saw this in episode 1 as well. This is a piercing and electricity strike against AC. It was a crit, thanks to the debuffs from the sunlight on the Darrow. I applied Dazzled and Clumsy. Most of those were going to wear off after a turn or two because it was just a sudden onset of sun, but that was enough for them to capitalize on it. Because of the crit, it also would do persistent damage, and Libiel then casted Shield as well. Desi tried the same thing as last time, strode a little closer, reload, and shot non-lethally, and another miss. The Darrow then dropped its crossbow and attempted to draw its club. This is a manipulate activity, which triggered a reactive strike from Dagon, who hit and killed it, thus ending the encounter. So here we saw a mix of some good use of first actions. We saw intimidating glares. We saw the recall knowledges. We saw some use of often non-combat activities in combat, trying to get some advantages between the sleep and the telekinetic hand, which I think worked out well for the party in this case. We saw the relatively low intelligence animals that were provoking reactive strikes. We saw the Darrow getting a little panicked, doing the same, and probably, if it wasn't panicked and blind, would have come up with try to find another way of avoiding it. And we saw Desi trying to do non-lethal damage, the rest of the party either not picking up on it or just not having good capabilities to do so. And look forward to sharing some more of these with you in the future.